Hello everyone, welcome to Legacy As Academy. Here we are starting a new series where we will be talking about the previous year's questions and the explanation to it. So let's start with the 2022 history questions, that is from the modern history, medieval history and also the ancient history. Okay, so we will have a separate section where we'll be dealing with the art and culture going ahead. So in this series, we will be talking about the previous year's questions and also its explanations. So in our first video, let's talk about the history questions that were asked in the prelims exam in the year 2022. The first question, if you look at in modern history, from the modern history, in the Government of India Act of 1919, the functions of the provincial government were divided into reserved and the transferred subjects. Which of the following were treated as reserved subjects? See, this is considered to be the most easiest question from the modern history because 1919 Montagu Claims for Reforms is something that we study in detail. Okay, including the 1909 Minto-Morley reforms and the 1919 Montagu Claims for Reforms is something that we go in detail. And here, the reserved and the transferred subjects are asked, which is considered to be the most integral part of the Montagu Claims for Reforms. So if you have studied Montagu Claims for Reform, then you will be attempting this question and that will be correct. Okay, let's go through these options. Administration of justice, local self-government, land revenue and police. See, when we talk about transferred and the reserved subjects, okay, we all know that what happened in the Montagu Claims for Reforms was that diarchy was introduced in the provinces and bicameral legislature was introduced at the center. Okay, this is something that happened in the Montagu Claims for Reforms. So when diarchy was introduced at the center, we had transferred subjects and the reserved subjects. Transferred subjects were administered by the ministers and reserved subjects were administered by the executive council of the governor and also the governor in himself. So reserved subjects had the most important subjects and the transferred subjects had the subjects related to the general administration. So our motto or our aim is to find that particular subject in these four options which deals with the normal working of the administration. So look at the second one, that is the local self-government. Okay, so local self-government was the transferred subject. So eliminate the option 2, you will have the answer. Okay, A is gone, B is gone, D is gone. The correct answer is C. So 1, 3 and 4 were classified as reserved subjects and local self-government was a transferred subject. Okay, this is how we'll be able to eliminate options and find the answer. Second one, consider the following freedom fighters. Okay, this is considered to be the question which is at the difficult end. Okay, because such factual questions we don't usually expect UPSC picking it up. Usually we will find this in the state PCS examination, but unfortunately we had a question: Barindra Kumar Ghosh, Jogesh Chandra Chatterjee and the Rash Bihari Bose. Okay, one very much familiar name in this particular question would be Rash Bihari Bose. Who of the following were actively associated with Ghadar party? Okay, so see, we will be studying about Ghadar party in the modern history. So in the transition period between 1910 to 1920, okay, so 1914-15 is when we have the Ghadar party getting emerged, and we will also be studying about an event called as Komagatamaru incident. Okay, so in this context, we will have to identify the people who were associated with Ghadar party. Okay, so one very much familiar name would be Rash Bihari Bose, and which is also mentioned in your spectrum and also the NCERT. So 3 is something that should be there in your answer. Okay, so you can eliminate option A and option B. You can just have C and D in the consideration. So C and D have 3 in common. So first option will decide whether you'll be going with the C option or with the D option. Okay, so come, let's talk about Barindra Kumar Ghosh. Okay, it's very well known that Barindra Kumar Ghosh was a part of the Anushilan Samiti and not the Ghadar party. Okay, if you have studied the revolutionary activities in the early 1900s, so we will know that Barindra Kumar Ghosh was a part of Anushilan Samiti. As he is a part of the Anushilan Samiti, he can't be a part of the Ghadar party. So you can eliminate option 1 and take D as the answer. Okay, that is 3 only is the correct answer for this particular question. Third question. With reference to the proposals of the Cripps mission, very, very important one, Cripps mission, consider the following statements. The Constituent Assembly would have members nominated by the provincial assemblies as well as the princely states. Any province which is not prepared to accept the new constitution would have the right to sign a separate agreement with the Britain regarding its future status. Okay. See, don't get confused with Cripps mission and Simon Commission. Simon Commission was in the year 1927. Cripps mission was in the year 1942. Okay, so when we deal with the Cripps mission, we will also have to get into the provisions of the Cripps mission. Okay, before Cripps mission, we have something called as August offer. In between Cripps mission and August offer, we have something called as individual satyagraha. And Cripps mission failed, because of which we have the very famous Quit India movement that was launched by Mahatma Gandhi ji. So these are the chronology of events that you should be very much familiar with. So in this question, we are asked to find the incorrect statement, or we also have to find the correct statement relating to the Cripps mission. Look at the statement 1. Constituent Assembly that would be formed will have the members nominated by the provincial assemblies as well as the princely states. Okay, this outrightly looks an incorrect statement, because according to Cripps mission, the members would be nominated by princely states and would be elected by provincial assemblies. Okay, from the provincial assemblies, the members would be elected, and from the princely states, the members would be nominated. Okay, so the statement 1 is incorrect. So the correct option would be B. Okay, that is 2 only. With reference to Indian history, consider the statements. Okay, the Dutch established their factories or warehouses on the east coast of the lands granted to them by the Gajapati rulers. Alfonso de Albuquerque captured Goa from the Bijapur Sultanate. The English East India Company established a factory at Madras on a plot of land leased from the representative of the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, so this is the question that is asked, which will demand you to know a part of medieval history, because here we're talking about Vijayanagar Empire. It asks you a part of modern history also, that is the advent of Europeans, where we're talking about Portuguese and also Dutch. Okay, and see this, though this question looks like a very difficult one, but you just eliminate one statement and you are very much near to the answer. So here in this question, you just have to eliminate one option, and that option, what is that option? Look at the statement 1. Dutch established their factories and the warehouses on the eastern coast of the land granted to them by the Gajapati rulers. See, this is a statement that looks fishy. Okay, why does it look fishy? See, Dutch entered India in the year 1605 to 1606. Okay, that's after Britishers. 1600 is when the Britishers entered India. So 1605 or 1606 is when Dutch entered India. And Gajapati rulers by 1541, okay, Gajapati rulers are it ends. The Gajapati Empire ends in the year 1541. Okay, in that case, Gajapati rulers cannot grant land to Dutch East India Company. So eliminate the statement 1, you will find the answer. Clear? So the correct answer would be B. Very simple. See, you don't have to know anything with respect to statement 2 and statement 3. That works. That perfectly works. Even if you don't know anything with respect to statement 2 and 3, you will be able to eliminate the statement 1 and find the answer. So this is what is called as elimination technique. Which one of the following statement about the Sangam literature in ancient South India is correct? Okay. Remember, the question is asking the correct statement. Sangam poems are devoid of any reference to material culture. The social classification of the Varna was known to Sangam poets. Sangam poets have no reference to warrior ethnic. Sangam literature refers to magical forces as irrational. Okay, look at the statement B. The social classification of the Varna was known to Sangam poets. A very much straightforward question with respect to the social aspects of the Sangam literature. Okay, so statement B is the correct answer. Okay, very tricky one. Very tricky question. Yoga Vasishtha was translated to Persian by Nizamuddin Panipati during the reign of. See, usually what do we do is that we look at the kings and the contemporary scholars in their court, and we will look at their works and we will try to remember it. But here the UPSC has gone one step ahead and asked question on the person who translated it, not just on the person but the contemporary king during whose time was this person Yoga Vasishtha, not who wrote it, who translated it to Persian language. Okay, so this is considered to be a difficult question, but I'll give you a very easy way out through such questions. Okay, so these questions will look very difficult in the exam because you'll be anxious. Okay, so if you just think over, if you just use a bit of logic and common sense, okay, with the sense of temperament, and these questions can be easily solved. See, Yoga Vasishtha was translated to Persian by Nizamuddin Panipati. This is the statement that we have. Look at the last option, Aurangzeb. See, one thing that we know about the Aurangzeb is that Aurangzeb was very ruthless and Aurangzeb was a very orthodox ruler. No matter what, Yoga Vasishtha, which is written in Sanskrit, if anyone tried reading or getting educated in Sanskrit, that is something that Aurangzeb did not like it. Okay, as Aurangzeb was much of a orthodox person, so Sanskrit work being translated to Persian by Nizamuddin Panipati, impossible during the time of Aurangzeb. Eliminate Aurangzeb. Okay, come to option B, Humayun. See, if we study Humayun, we would know that Humayun was out of the kingdom for more years than the time that he ruled as a king. 1530 to 1540 he would be a king. 1540 to 1555 he is in the exile. So 1555 he comes back, defeats the ruler of Sur dynasty. By 1556 he is dead. Okay, so Humayun just rules for somewhere around 10 to 11 years, and for 15 years he is in exile. So Humayun you can eliminate. Clear? So you have Akbar and Shah Jahan as the option. Now just think over. When you compare Akbar and Shah Jahan based on their religious policies and the importance given to scholars and literature, whom do you think, or which is that particular king who was given a lot of importance to literature, at the same time who was very much liberal when it comes to religion? For no matter what, for you shouldn't have even a single doubt that the answer is Akbar. Okay, so this is how you will be eliminating the options given to you, and you will be finding the best answer with the available options. Clear? I hope you have understood this. Next question. With reference to Indian history, consider the following. Okay, with reference to Indian history, consider the following. Nettipakarana, Parishishta Parvan, Avadhana Shataka, Trishishti Lakshana Mahapurana. Which of the above are Jaina texts or Jain literature? Okay, so one thing that we would be knowing if we have studied Punam Dala Dahya or the NCERT is that Nettipakarana is a very frequently heard book. Okay, Nettipakarana, which was written by a disciple of Buddha, and it is also said that this particular text related to Buddhist philosophy was narrated during the first Buddhist council. Okay, so it has its mention. So first option you can eliminate, which means A and B as A and C, because Nettipakarana is a Buddhist text. You can eliminate option A and option C. You will be left with option B and option D. 2, 4, 2, 3, 4. So let's come to Avadhana Shataka. Okay, Avadhana Shataka is also a Buddhist text where Parishishta Parvan and Trishashti Lakshana Purana are the only two Jain texts in the above options. So the correct answer would be option B. According to Kautilya's Arthashastra, which of the following are correct? A person could be a slave as a result of judicial punishment. If a female slave bore her master a son, she was legally free. If a son born to a female slave was fathered by her master, the son was entitled to the legal status of the master's son. Okay, which of the following statements are correct? See, this is a question that asks you to have some bit of knowledge about the slavery during the Mauryan Empire and also Kautilya's Arthashastra, and very much logical. Okay, very, very much logical. See, one important fact that we would know about the Kautilya's Arthashastra and also the Mauryan Empire is that the slavery, though was present in the Mauryan Empire, but it was legal. Okay, slavery was legal in the Mauryan Empire. This is the statement that we would know from various texts that we would follow in order to prepare for the UPSC Prelims examination from the medieval history point of view and also the ancient history point of view, that is Poonam Dalal Dahiya. So in Poonam Dalal Dahiya, it is very well mentioned that the slavery during the time of Mauryan Empire was very much legal. So keep this thread in mind that the slavery was legal, and now read the options. Person could be a slave as a result of the judicial punishment. It is not telling that slavery is the only punishment. It is saying could be a slave. Okay, could be a slave. Possible. It's just a possibility. Agreed. If a female slave bore her master a son, she was legally free. Now consider this statement from a thread that you have already, that is slavery was legal in nature. So if you consider this statement in the background that slavery was legal, this seems perfectly fine. Correct. If a son born to a female slave was fathered by her master, the son was entitled to the legal status of the master's son, which means if a master has accepted a son born to a female slave as his son, then he would have the powers for the inheritance of the property. That is legal status of the master's son. Okay, so again, consider this particular statement with the background that the slavery was legal during the Mauryan Empire. Seems perfectly fine. So the correct answer is D. See here, just remember one thing. UPSC doesn't demand you to read Arthashastra and answer this question. You don't have to go through Arthashastra or even the summary of Arthashastra to understand and answer this question. Okay, it is pure logic and simple data that you will have from the NCERT and also your reference book, that you will have to use that knowledge, apply that particular knowledge, and come to a conclusion whether the statement is right or wrong. Okay, so this should be the skill that you should be developing going forward. Okay, if you are people who are planning for 2023 as your first attempt or the second attempt, and if you are watching this video, make sure in the next 2 months, you exactly have 2 months from today for the May 28th, 2023 prelims examination. You exactly have 2 months from today. So make it a point that every test that you attempt from now on, you will be using such skills where you will be applying your knowledge from the data that you have, and you will be very near to the answer. So this is a skill that UPSC demands. And after looking at this question, do not start reading the summary of Arthashastra, and that will not solve the purpose. Okay, I think I'm clear with this. Okay, next question. Nanuka, Chandela dynasty, Jai Shakti, Paramara dynasty, Nagabhatta II, Gurjara Pratiharas, Bhoja, Rashtrakuta. Okay, how many pairs of the given above are correctly matched? See, this is the first time, that is in the year 2022, UPSC came out with such options. Every year there would be like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, all of the above. The options would be like this. This is the first time where UPSC became more innovative and asked such questions. Okay, answering such questions are even more difficult than answering the question where you have 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2 or 2, 3, 4 as the options. There you can eliminate. Here you cannot eliminate. Okay, so this is the reason why, as this was a surprise to aspirants, I would classify this as the most difficult question that was asked in the history in the year 2022. Okay, now let's look at the answer. Nanuka, Chandela dynasty, Jaya Shakti, the statement says belonged to Paramara dynasty, which is incorrect. Jaya Shakti was also part of Chandela dynasty, which means the one, that is the second point, is incorrect. Okay, this is the first pair that is incorrectly matched. Now look at the fourth, that is Bhoja. Bhoja, it says he's a part of Rashtrakutas, but actually Bhoja is a part of Paramaras. Okay, which means the statement 2 and 4, okay, the row 2 and 4 are incorrectly matched. 1 and 3 are correctly matched. So the question asks how many pairs given above are correctly matched, that is 2 pairs. Okay, so this is how we will be solving the questions. In medieval India, the term phanum referred to? Okay, this is a very straightforward question, and in the class I always tell you that the terms are something that UPSC is very much fond of, and that is a favorite question for UPSC. You will have questions from the ancient and the medieval history, and you had a question in the year 2022 also. Funam, you will be finding this in the NCERT, that is related to coins. See, these are the questions where you know it, you know it. You don't know it, you don't know it. You can't eliminate options here. Clothing, ornaments, weapons. If you know it, then you know it. If you don't know, all 4 options look similar. Okay, just imagine all 4 options look or say that this is the right answer. So do not take any risks when attempting such questions. If you know it, then go ahead and do it. If not, it's always a safe game to leave these questions, because you will have the negative marking where you will be losing around 0.66 marks for each wrong answer. With reference to Indian history, who of the following were called as Kula Dharan? Okay, Kula, Kulah, Dharan. Okay, so Kula Dharan refers to people who wear a particular type of cap which is pointed. Okay, pointed cap. That is Sayyids. It was Sayyids who wear this particular part of this particular type of caps. So because of which Kula Dharan, okay, it was Sayyids who were called as Kula Dharan. With reference to Indian history, consider the following statements. The first Mongol invasion of India happened during the reign of Jalaluddin Khilji. During the reign of Alauddin Khilji, one Mongol assault marched up to Delhi and besieged the city. Muhammad bin Tughlaq temporarily lost portions of the northwest of his kingdom to Mongols. Okay, this is the statement that's asked. Let's go with the first statement. The first Mongol invasion of India happened during the reign of Jalaluddin Khilji. A very, very incorrect statement. If you would have studied about Iltutmish, we would know that Iltutmish refused to give asylum to the rogue prince, okay, of Genghis Khan, okay, because of which Genghis Khan, who almost reached the borders of Delhi, did not choose to fight Iltutmish because Iltutmish did not go against Genghis Khan. Okay, so this is considered to be the first Mongol invasion during the time of Genghis Khan and Iltutmish and not Jalaluddin Khilji. So eliminate the statement 1. Option A is gone, option C is gone. You have option B and option D. During the reign of Alauddin Khilji, one Mongol assault marched up to the Delhi and besieged the city. Very, very correct statement. Okay, just by reading the statement 2, you would know that this is the correct one, and you don't even have to read the statement 3. You don't even have to read the statement 3, and statement 3 would be incorrect. So the correct option would be B. Okay, this is all we have for today. So in this video, we have talked about the previous year's questions and the explanation, and also some of the techniques to solve those history questions where you find it very difficult. So this is the first video in the series, and check out the playlist where we have the previous year's questions from 2021, 2020, 2019 and also 2018. If you have liked the video, then press the like button. For more such interesting content, please subscribe to Legacy AS Academy. Have a nice day. Thank you.